It's the video you've been waiting for. Today, we're taking xTool's all-in-one DTF apparel printer and comparing it head-to-head with DTF Station's Prestige R2 Pro. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, these are two of the hottest printers in the space when it comes to desktop DTF printing. And I'm even going to touch on their respective shaker setups to give you guys a complete comparison. No spec sheets, no scripted lingo, I'm bringing you the real-world metrics that matter. Not only how do these machines stack up against each other, but which one makes sense for your shop? Maybe it's one, maybe it's both, maybe it's none. Let's break it down. Let's start from the ground up. Physical footprint. Now, obviously we know what desktop printer means, but how small are we actually talking? And what does it look like with a shaker attached? These are the first questions to ask when considering setting up a new printer. Whether it's in the garage, an office, or even the factory, a new machine means you need space. Just looking at the apparel printer, we can clearly see this is compact enough to fit on a desktop. However, when we factor in the respective OS1 shaker, the whole design becomes vertically cohesive. Now, the OS1 shaker base does include wheels, which is such a breeze when it comes to mobility and arranging our workspace in tight conditions. Things like in a small office or maybe working out of the home. Now, something worth mentioning, however, the air purifier situation. This will account for additional square footage in your work area, stuff to keep in mind, and an additional power outlet. On the other hand, the Prestige R2 Pro is not meant for vertical production. Though still compact enough to fit on a desktop, ideally we want this sitting above the shaker unit. Now, the recommended shaker for the Prestige R2 Pro is the Miro 13 Max. Now, this will make our setup a little bit longer. Normally you want a 1-foot gap between printer and shaker unit itself. Now today, we have a machine set up on the Print Pro tables which have wheels. And while this does allow for a decent room for production, we still have ease of mobility. And I can't forget to mention, the Miro 13 Max does boast a built-in air purification unit. Everything you see up here is all the filters to keep your workspace nice and clean, no extra outlets, no extra equipment, just a smooth, clean production setup. Now let's talk operation. When it comes to the R2 Pro, proper setup is crucial, and the machine comes with video and manual instruction covering all of that. Now, once everything is connected, we can go into the software. It's really as simple as dragging, dropping files, sizing, and telling the printer how many pieces you want, and pressing start to send the job. Now, Neo Stampa is what runs the printer and allows for direct control over things like color profiles, ink limits, their layout, and nesting tools that help us maximize the film as well. Overall, I would say this is a great middleman program for both beginner and advanced printers alike. The apparel printer is similar in ease of setup as it also comes with manual and video instruction, and once completed, we can connect to our xTool Studio software, which is as user-friendly as it comes. Now, all of our default settings are already optimized for xTool's ink and film, and while the program doesn't support color profiles or advanced color correction, this is going to be more of a plug-and-play option, which is great for beginners. Now, what it does have are design templates, which make things really customizable and print ready, especially for those who are outsourcing their DTF artwork. Before we hit print, there's one huge difference we have to mention. These two machines are not built for the same level of output. The R2 Pro is designed for true production, continuous printing, continuous powdering, continuous curing. The apparel printer, on the other hand, is built more for on-demand or creator level output, not high volume orders. Let's send a couple jobs so you can see what I'm talking about. Although both machines have the same print heads, one dedicated solely to white and the other for colors, they offer different workflows. On one hand, the R2 Pro setup allows for gang sheeting, which means I can send multiple designs in a single job. So while a design of this setup requires more time for a singular completed transfer, the automated workflow means that I can let this run hands-free, and at the end of my job, I'll have multiple transfers ready to press. The apparel print setup, on the other hand, isn't made for gang sheeting or ongoing printing. As you can see, the design of this machine allows for quick turnaround on a single transfer, but the workflow is a bit more hands-on. If I want to produce multiple designs, that means multiple jobs. And that means I have to go in and upload each one, which adds time to my production. That brings us to scaling. On the xTool side, we've got low volume orders, custom jobs, Etsy sales, one-offs, easy peasy. But the vertical design means our print speed is kind of tied to our powdering and our drying speed. Something to keep in mind if things get busy. Now, while the xTool produce singular finished transfers, the R2 Pro give us rolls of multiple designs. That's the difference between printing and producing. The only way to truly compare these prints is to press them. Now, when I'm measuring print quality, I'm normally looking at color accuracy, print sharpness, vibrancy, and details. Let's see how this print for the R2 Pro comes out. All right, now let's take a look here. Now, as far as print accuracy, this is spot on from what I recall the file looking like in the software on the computer. Now, as far as vibrancy, these blues are really jumping off even on a dark black t-shirt behind it. Now, I will say the sharpness, I'm not detecting any of the white peeking out. Everything looks crisp around the details of the bike, of the text and lettering. And speaking of the lettering, details. We kept all the spine punctuation marks, but let's see if this QR code really works. It works. Let's see how this xTool transfer presses. All right, now first up as far as color accuracy is concerned. Immediately, this looks exactly like what I remember seeing on the computer screen in the RIP software. This looks very accurate. Now, when it comes to print sharpness, again, I'm looking to see details like, is there white poking out where it shouldn't be? How crisp are these lines, especially in things like the text? Now, as far as vibrancy, the colors, the blues, the whites, everything seems very bold, very solid. There's no sign of the t-shirt really showing through the print, which is great. Let's see if this QR code works for the xTool as well. It works. Let's take a look at these side by side so you can see what I'm seeing. Sticker price on these machines is our initial investment, but cost of ownership is the world we live in after purchase. Let's talk about ink, film, powder, the stuff we buy forever. The premier ink choice for DTF Station is Color Prime Chroma. The software is profiled for this ink to get the most accurate results, and this is the ink we want to use to keep our manufacturer's warranty. It ranges from 74 to 79 per bottle for CMYK, and the white ink bottle about 90. xTool, on the other hand, makes their own ink. This is also what we must print with to keep warranty in place. This is priced about 35 to 39 for their half-liter bottles of CMYK and white. Different packaging, but very similar in cost. Now let's talk film. My personal favorite is Color Prime Quick Glide, since it has instant peel and is already color profiled for the R2 Pro anyway. Let's say you're making 12 by 12 transfers. One roll of R2 Pro film, around $90 a roll, gets you about 470 pieces. The xTool roll, slightly bigger, priced at $129, gives you roughly the same number of transfers. So it costs about 40% more to get the exact same output. Now, even though the xTool film is an inch wider, you're likely not getting more usable transfers out of it. So if you're producing regularly, this difference can add up pretty quick. Another fave, Color Prime DTF powder. For the R2 Pro is about 33 per kilogram versus the xTool powder of about 40. Same amount of adhesive. But what does this all equate to in real production? Basically, the ongoing cost of ownership between these machines aren't wildly different based on ink, but film, powder quietly tip the scale. Now, over time, those higher priced consumables add up, especially if you're printing consistently. So while the sticker price might grab our attention on day one, the true cost of ownership shows up every single order after that. That's where long-term value really starts to separate. Real talk, if you're just getting started, printing for yourself or running smaller orders here and there, the xTool setup makes a lot of sense. It's compact, easy to use, and honestly just super convenient. Unbox it, set it up, start printing. No stress, no steep learning curve. Now, if you're thinking bigger, batch orders, repeat customers, production that needs to run daily, the R2 Pro setup was built for that. It's the kind of setup that doesn't flinch when the order volume ramps up. So yeah, this isn't about one being better. It's about the right tool for the stage you're in. If you want to use it yourself, why not book a demo first? Our SoCal location has both of these machines and more, and we're happy to help you find the right fit. Got questions? Drop them in the comments. Want to see either setup running in real time? Subscribe to the channel for more videos. We'll catch you in the next one.